It's just we're going to talk to Collin here in a second.
Okay.
I know, what have you? I know we've asked you a lot about him, but how, I guess, natural has his growth been this year, and what's that give to you guys? That kind of different physical option at receiver.
Yeah, man, I'm really proud of that kid and how far he's come from the spring. He was one of our standouts in the spring. We look at the guys that really came on strong at the end of spring practice. He was definitely one of those guys, and he took it into the summer and he took it into fall. And the thing that helps Collin is he's incredibly smart. As a coach, what you do is you see stuff at practice, and you come in, you fix it on film. And what you like to see, the good players can go put it on film the very next day. And that's what Collin Dixon does. Is he fixes it in practice, and then he goes out the next day and it's fixed. And he can take things from the meeting room to the practice field, and it obviously shows up in games. And then, like Coach B always talks about, he's tough, smart, and dependable. Man, that guy is the definition of what, just like Hank Beatty and a lot of the guys in that room, man, he's the definition of what Coach wants in this program. And there's no secret of why he's played well.
For a younger guy, what's the key to getting to take a good spring and not lose it over a couple months before summer and fall camp?
Yeah, I think it takes, I don't think concentration is the word, but the ability to continue to improve daily, right? Not be satisfied with, hey, I had a good 15 practices in the spring. It takes a lot, man. Our summers here are hard with Tank and the things Coach B does with our program. So to be able to show up every single day and just keep that intentionality, right, that focus to come to work every day, it's hard to do. That's what he's done, though.
I think you've talked about you have to block for the rock.
Yeah.
What's that process like for a young receiver who's coming out of high school? They were the number one, they got the ball at the time,
Yeah.
and now they got to do some other stuff.
Yeah, it's honestly, for me as a coach, when the older guys like Pat Bryant and Sakari and those guys are out there blocking, it makes it a lot easier for me. Somebody tweeted something this week with two of my receivers from SMU blocking. And every time that shows up, I'm like, oh, thank God, because those two guys are in the league, and I just retweet it. I'm like, man, if anybody can see it, my guys see it. We show tapes of, hey, this is great effort, this is bad effort, and our guys take a lot of pride in not being that guy that shows up on tape being lazy. If we're going to ask Caden Fagan, who stepped up on a big third down and blocked a guy right in the face this year for us to catch a third down pass, man, who are we to not go out there and block on the run play? But it does help, man. When your older players are your best blockers and play with great effort, it helps the younger guys see that for sure.
Collin, is that something he embraced?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's a bigger body guy too, so we use him in a lot of different roles. But that's something that he's taken. Pat Bryant's the one who sets the tone for everybody with how he's blocked. All the stuff we've done with him since the spring, being able to put that stuff on tape. But you look at the NFL game with the Rams and the Niners, and that's what the game's kind of getting to. Being able to do some of those runs and stuff like that with receivers blocking, and our guys have taken a lot of pride in it.
I know Coach said maybe the reps haven't always been there for Malik, but he's a kind of a big cheerleader on the sidelines. What have you seen from his approach, even if maybe all those reps aren't there yet?
Just the maturation process for him, being locked in throughout practice. And I tell you, that Joker had a great practice today. He practiced really well. But my whole thing with Malik is just focusing every day to be the best Malik. Be present. You don't have to be perfect. Just be present, right? And just continue to get better. Like we talk about in our room, your reps create your reps. And so every time you get in there, make sure your rep counts. And eventually, don't know when that is, but eventually it'll pay off.